Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Um, yes, Stephanie, it is your birthday. Happy birthday. Birthday yoga indeed, and with sunshine. That's always a good thing. So welcome. It's Saturday. The weekend is here. And I'm super happy to be here with you. So just a couple quick things before we dive in. If you have blocks or block-like props, feel free to grab them now. We're going to use them. We're going to just keep things easy and supported today. So a water bottle will work, a paper towel roll if you have one, anything that will just give you a little extra height in some of our poses this morning. Um, yay, flannel. Good morning, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. Um, so welcome. It's been a while. I practiced with you all last year. And so this morning I have a little nerves about being back, but this is not our first Yogi-O, get it? Rodeo. Um, so I'm happy to be here in my living room again with all of you. So um, if you have not practiced with me, my name's Jaime. As always with these classes, it's Saturday. Coffee is still happening. If you're just needing to kind of chill out and sip your beverage of choice, that is totally option number one. If you're needing a little bit more and I'm just not giving you enough hardcore workout, feel free to add on or modify plank if you feel like it. But today, I don't know about the rest of you, but being back at work and sitting, my side body is just all sorts of cranky. So today is all about just really lengthening and stretching things out. So we're not going to do a whole lot of intense lower body stuff. So we want to keep things kind of easy, but just really finding lots of length and stretch through the upper part of the body. So with that, we're going to get started laying down flat. If you want to use the playlist this morning, go ahead and hit that link in the chat. And then just start to settle into your mat. Blocks or block-like things can be just towards the top of the mat for easy access for later. But as we start to settle in here, just coming to lay nice and flat. And I invite you to maybe place both hands on the belly, or maybe you place a hand on the belly, hand on the heart. So just kind of beginning this practice with a little bit of awareness of the breath, how it's moving, and just feeling really connected to body and breath as we begin here. Before you start to try to add on or get really intense with your breathing, just start with that little bit of awareness that we always begin with in these practices, using it as kind of a health check, so to speak, of where you're at this morning and what you're needing. And then we'll start to bring just a little more intention to the breath. Inhaling fully, filling up the belly with air, and then exhaling fully, letting it all out. Maybe you take a couple nice, loud, audible exhales here as you settle into this rhythm of breath. And then just start to get really comfortable with this rhythm. Whether you're inhaling to a count and exhaling to a count, or if you're just feeling the breath move in the body here. And this morning, I don't have a specific or focused intention for you. This week, there's been a lot going on, and so I really want to just open up this space for you to kind of explore what it is that you're needing. So whether that is stillness or whether it's movement or whether it's peace of mind, any of those things that you woke up and just really are craving for your practice this morning, just allow those intentions, those little bits of focus to start to settle in the body and the mind. We'll take just 2 more big full breaths here. With our next inhale, we're going to start to reach the arms back behind us, getting really long through the body here. Maybe flexing the feet, pointing the toes. You can roll out the wrists a little bit. Just finding that length through the entire body. We're going to start to walk the feet over to the right. So kind of creating this little banana stretch. So if this feels like a lot, you can just do the feet. Maybe you cross that left ankle over the right. If you're wanting a little bit more, you can start to bring that upper body over as well. But the goal here is to keep the hips and the shoulders still pressing down into the mat. So kind of creating your own little banana, little half moon shape. And as you settle in here, whether those ankles and wrists are crossed or whether you're just keeping it easy, we just want to focus the breath into that extended side of the body. So, really breathing into all those spaces between the ribs, lengthening through that side body. And then we'll start to bring the upper body back to center, bringing those feet back through center and then just all the way over to the left. So same thing here, just starting with the lower half. Maybe you cross the ankles, taking stock of how this feels. And then if you want that little bit of extra, bringing that upper body over as well. So same thing here. Can you use the breath to breathe any amount more stretch and space into that whole entirety of the side? Getting into the rib cage, feeling that length all the way from the feet up through that right wrist. And we'll start to bring the upper body back to center, bringing those feet back to center. We're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe you find a little movement here, a little side to side. We're going to bring the feet down to the mat. And we're just going to bring that left ankle over the right knee. So finding this kind of figure four shape and then bringing the pads of the hands just right into the hip crease. So we're wanting to just gently press the legs away, creating a little bit of release and let go of that low belly and also the low back. It's just creating a little extra space here. Again, all those spaces that get kind of stuck as we sit at our desk or in our car or whatever you're doing, just finding a little release. We'll just gently let that go. We're going to find a little sway side to side of the legs. And then maybe the next time that that left foot comes down to the ground on the right side, maybe you settle into that twist. If that's not feeling quite right, you can keep that little bit of sway or movement happening. But again, just honoring where you're at, what you're needing. Keeping those shoulders pressing down into the mat. We'll start to bring those legs back to center, releasing that left foot down to meet the right. Same thing other side here. So right ankle is going to cross that left knee, finding those pads of the hands, just pressing gently into the hip creases here. Finding that little bit of release, that little bit of let go. We'll just gently let that go. Maybe the hands come out to the sides. You find that cactus arm shape. And we'll start to find that little bit of sway side to side. Same option here. If you want to settle into that full twist as that right foot comes down, you can, or just keep things fluid. We'll bring everything back to center. Bringing that right foot down to meet the left. We'll hug those knees in towards the chest again. This time starting to find that forward and back movement. We're going to come all the way up into a nice comfy seat, settling in here. Once you're there, nice big reach, hands to the sky. Pressing the palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, just like that. Inhale, nice big reach. Pressing the palms together, hands to heart. We're going to inhale and lift here. Starting to twist towards the right knee. Hands are going to drop down. So that right hand will drop back behind you. Left hand's going to drop onto that right knee. Feeling the lift through the crown of the head. Hips are firmly planted down into the mat here. Starting to get familiar with that length through each side of the body. So sometimes in some of these postures we get into, one side can start to feel a little stuck. So really thinking about lengthening through each side, no matter what shape the body might be in at the time. We're going to keep that left hand on the knee where it's at. We're going to start to reach that right arm up and over. Reaching kind of diagonally from the back. Finding that space again through the rib cages. Maybe turning the heart up towards the sky a little bit. We'll start to bring that hand back down behind you, settling back into that twist. Inhale, arms reach up. Same thing other side here, twisting towards that left knee. Everything drops down. So again, giving yourself a little space to settle into stillness here, to feel all of the sensations. I don't know about you, but this side needed some twists this morning. We're going to start to reach that left hand up and over. So finding that nice long reach here. Heart is still twisting towards the sky. Feeling length from the hip all the way up through those left fingertips. We'll bring that hand right back down. One more breath in this twist. Inhale, arms to the sky. Hands are going to come to hearts. We're going to start to lean back on those sit bones. Feet are going to come out in front. Just taking 2 nice big breaths. In our boat pose here, toes can always come down to the mat. If I keep talking, you'll forget how many breaths we're on. Just kidding. And then we're just going to cross the legs the other way, the way that feels a little weird. Settle back in here. Inhale, nice big reach. We're going to keep those fingertips reaching up towards the sky. I think Mickey's described this as hanging on monkey bars. So really thinking about that length through the upper part of the body. Hips are weighted down into the mat. Fingertips are reaching, finding that space through each side here. Hands are going to come to heart. We're just going to make our way over into our table. So taking some time to get set up in this table shape, wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. We're going to take a couple rounds of cat-cow here. So inhale, drops that belly, lifts the heart. Exhale, rounding the back, pressing away. We'll move through these shapes a few times with your breath. Giving yourself space to pause if you need it. Add some extra wiggly movement if you need it. We'll start to settle into our nice neutral table here. So crown of the head's reaching forward, little hug in of belly button to spine. Feeling that length from hip all the way up through the shoulder. We're going to start to send those right toes back behind us, pressing through that heel. We're rolling to the inside of that right foot, big toe side. Right arm's going to reach up towards the sky. So usually when we come into this, there's lots of options to lift the foot and do different things. But this morning, we're just going to keep that back foot down. So that right arm's reaching up towards the sky. Still thinking length through the side bodies here. We're going to start to turn that right palm to face towards the front of the mat and then start to reach it long along the ear. And we're going to kind of over exaggerate. So puffing up that side body, finding that kind of banana shape again. And then bending that elbow, crunching that elbow down towards the hip. We're going to move this a couple times. So inhale finds that nice long stretch here. Exhale, crunches it in. One more time, just like that. Nice big reach. Finding that elbow towards the hip. We're going to reach long one more time. That right hand's going to come down to the mat. We're going to keep those right toes reaching back behind us and then start to bring this leg out to the side. So you want it to come straight out from the hip. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what we're doing. So that right leg's going to come straight out, keeping that inside part of the foot down on the mat, and then just walking the hands back towards the hips, coming up into our gate pose. Nice big reach, hands to the sky. We're going to bring that right arm down that right leg, reaching up and over. Both hands to the sky. Option to bring that left arm down the left side of the body as you start to kind of tilt. I'm a little teapot over. Maybe that left hand comes down to the side. Maybe you find a block. That's an option too. And then we'll bring both hands back to the sky, bringing them down to the mat, walking those hands forward, and then just coming back into that table shape. Settling back into table here. Nice flat back. Left toes are going to reach back behind us. Lengthening through that heel for a breath here. Rolling to the inside part of that foot. Left arm's going to start to reach up towards the sky. So same thing on this side. That back foot's going to stay planted. Finding length through the arms here. Length through both sides of the body. We're going to start to turn that left palm to face the front of the mat. Reaching forward. Finding that banana-like shape. And then bending the elbow, hugging it in towards the hip, crunching it in. A few more times just like that. Inhale to reach. Exhale to find that crunch. And really just feeling all of the sensations that might be happening with this movement and stretch. One more time, reaching nice and long. We're going to bring that hand down to the mat, keeping those left toes facing back. And then we're bringing that left foot out to the side. So I'll turn again. Straight out from the hip, that inside part of the foot planting down into the mat. Hands will walk back, coming all the way up. Nice big reach. Left hand comes down that left leg. Right arm reaches up and over. Both hands to the sky. Right arm comes down to that right side. Left arm reaches up and over. Same option. Maybe you bring that hand down or to a block, or you can keep it right here. Breathing space into the rib cage. Both hands to the sky. Hands will come down to the mat. And then we'll just bring that knee back in, finding our table. Inhale, drops the belly, lifts the heart. Exhale, rounding the back, pressing away. We're going to tuck the toes here, lifting the hips up and back, settling into our down dog. Taking a couple breaths here, finding any little bits of movement that you need to kind of warm up the body in this shape. Maybe you walk it out. Maybe you find that little doggy tail wiggle this morning. And then just starting to settle into this down dog. Again, feeling that length from the hips all the way through the wrists here. We're going to send that left foot forward. Maybe you reach it up and back, stepping it forward. Dropping that back knee. Hands are going to stay down around the foot here to start. So settling into that low lunge. Popping up onto the fingertips here. We're going to bring that left hand up onto the left thigh, reaching that right arm all the way forward and up to the sky. Settling in here for a breath, feeling really strong in the legs. We're going to start to reach that right arm up and over. So finding that little bit of side stretch here. Maybe those left fingertips reach down towards the ground. We'll bring it right back up. Hands to the sky. We're going to bring hands down around the foot, and I'm going to invite you to grab your block or one of your block-like things and just bringing it right inside the foot here. So we're going to settle into our twist. The reason that we're using support in this is just to really focus on the length that's happening as opposed to really focusing on making sure that that hand gets to the ground. So planting that hand on whatever you're using, we're going to start to reach that left arm up towards the sky here. So feeling that length through the arms, but also feeling both sides of the body lengthening forward here. These twists can tend to feel a little stuck as we start to settle into them. So using the prop, focusing on that length can help get out of the stuck feeling. We'll bring that left hand down around the foot, just moving that block forward. Planting the hands here, tucking that back toe. We're going to step it back to plank. Yay, Saturday morning plank pose. Always the option to lower the knees here. And then we're all going to drop the knees for this first round of vinyasa. Heart pulls forward, elbows bend straight back as we lower. Untucking those toes, big shrug of the shoulders, baby cobra. Planting those feet firmly, pulling back in the hands a bit. We'll roll right back down. Pressing back to table, tucking toes, lifting hips, down dog. If it makes sense in the body, right foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Dropping that back knee. Keeping those hands low. popping up onto those fingertips. Heart is pressing forward here. We're going to bring that right hand up onto the thigh and then reaching the left fingertips forward and all the way up. Settling in for a breath. We'll start to reach up and over with that left hand. Maybe those right fingertips reach down to the floor. Both hands to the sky. Hands are going to come down around the foot. Again, finding that prop, setting it right inside the foot, planting that left hand, and we'll start to reach that right arm up to the sky. So settling back into all of those things. Arms are nice and long here, lifting out of that bottom shoulder. Side bodies are lengthening towards the front of the mat. Breathing space where it's needed. We'll bring that right hand down, moving that block, lifting that back knee, stepping it back to plank. Last vinyasa all together here. Knees can stay lifted, can drop them again as that heart pulls forward. Maybe just keep these back bends nice and easy. Maybe you press up any amount more. And then we're taking it back. Down dog. Settling in for a couple breaths here. Take a nice deep bend to the knees, looking forward between the hands, taking that little stroll forward. Feet to hands, hands to feet. And keeping that little bend in the knees here, we're going to slowly roll all the way up. Once you're there, nice big reach, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. I just want us to place hand over heart for a moment, allowing the eyes to close, the gaze to maybe drift to the floor. Just doing that little health check again. Seeing where the breath's at. Reminding yourself of that intention or focus that you're needing from this practice. Maybe pushing away those extra thoughts or to-dos or tasks that are creeping back in. We'll start to blink the eyes open here. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift, nice flat back here. Folding forward. Left leg's gonna step all the way back, staying up on those back toes. We're gonna sneak that right hand up onto the thigh. We've been here before. Reaching those fingertips forward all the way up. Both hands to the sky. Settling into this high lunge. Again, thinking length, maybe those monkey bars through the hands here. We're gonna bring those fingertips forward. Left arm stays, right arm sweeps down and back. Sweeping it down and forward. Left arm will sweep down and back. Bringing it down and forward. One more time, reaching back and forward. Left arm reaches back. Bringing it forward. Hands to the sky here. And then we're just going to open it up, warrior two. Taking a moment to settle into this warrior two. Arms are reaching nice and long. Nice solid foundation in the legs here. We're going to inhale and lift. Warrior two. Flipping that front palm, finding our reverse. Coming forward, extended side angle. Bringing it back up, warrior two. Hands are going to come down around the foot. Any way you want to get there, we're stepping it back. Down dog. This round, it's your choice. So you have 5 breaths. Maybe you take that vinyasa, moving through plank, back bend. Maybe you settle into child's pose or table. Maybe you refill your coffee, whatever you're needing in this little moment of transition and pause. We'll settle into our down dog. If it makes sense, left foot reaches up and back, stepping it forward. Coming up into that high lunge. And again, just settling in to stillness here. Length through the upper body. Legs are a nice solid foundation. Arms are going to reach forward. Right arm will stay, left arm sweeps down and back, sweeping it down and forward. Right arm down and back, down and forward. One more time each side here. Both hands to the sky. Opening it up, warrior two. Inhale to lift. Warrior two. Finding that reverse. Coming forward, extended side angle. Bringing it back, warrior two. Hands are going to come down around the foot. We're just going to step that back foot forward this time. Forward fold. Nice deep bend to the knees. Maybe you grab opposite elbows, letting everything really hang out here. A little sway side to side. We'll release those elbows. With our inhale, nice big reach. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to inhale, nice big reach, hands to the sky. Put just a tiny bend in the knees. It's not a chair pose. I didn't plan any chair pose today. If you want it, go for it. We're going to take that right hand to grab the left wrist and then start to straighten the legs as you reach up and over. And then we'll bend into those knees again, switching sides, and then lifting and lengthening as you stretch. One more time each side here. Little bend. Nice big reach. Bending into the knees. Nice big reach. Bringing it back to center. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, nice big reach. Nice big length through the body here. We're going to start to shift weight into that left foot. Right knee comes up. Settling in for a moment of pause. Thinking long through the body as you start to tilt forward, stepping that foot all the way back. Finding that lunge. Hands are going to come down around the foot. We're going to grab that block again, bringing it right inside that left foot. Hands going to plant. Sneaking that left hand up onto the thigh. So you can stay here for this twist, keeping it really easy. Maybe you reach that hand up towards the sky. So again, thinking length through both sides of the body. Length from the arms. Nice big wingspan here. We'll bring that hand back down, moving that block forward. Reaching all the way up. Hands are going to reach forward. Left arm reaches down and back, reaching it down and forward. Right arm will reach back, and we're just gonna drop that back heel, settling in to our warrior two. Pausing here for a breath, checking in with the feet. We're gonna inhale and lift. Exhale, warrior two. Finding that reverse. Coming back, warrior two. Forearm's gonna come to thigh, and we're gonna send that right arm straight up to the sky. So nice solid feet here. Legs are a good foundation. We're gonna turn that right palm to face the front of the mat and then start to press that arm forward. And we're gonna find that little kind of side puff that we did earlier, and then bending the elbow, crunching it in. So we're gonna move this a couple times. What I want you to think about is keeping that length through both sides of the body. So a lot of times when we come into the 600 side angle, we get kind of crunchy on that inside body. So think length as you find that reach and puff, and then crunching it in. 2 more times, just like that. Nice big reach. We'll reach one more time here. Bringing it back up, warrior two. Hands are gonna come down around the foot. We're just stepping that back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhale, reaches all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice big reach here. Finding length through those fingertips. We'll start to shift weight into that right foot. Left knee comes up. Thinking monkey bars again. We're going to start to send that foot back behind us, stepping into that lunge. Hands are going to come down around the foot. We'll find that block. So planting that left hand on that block, right hand could come up to the thigh, and this can be as far as you take it if this feels happy. Just thinking length through the side bodies. If you want to take that hand up to the sky, you can. You can also bring it back down to that low lunge for both options here. But again, thinking length. Breathing extra space into the rib cage. We'll bring that hand down around the foot, moving that block, coming all the way up into our lunge. Arms are going to reach forward. Right arm sweeps down and back, sweeping it down and forward. Left arm sweeps back. We'll drop that back heel, settling into our warrior two. Inhale to lift. Warrior two. Finding our reverse here. Back to warrior two. We're going to bring that forearm to thigh. That top arm will reach straight up. So before we start to add anything on, just bringing attention to what this side of the body is doing. So we want to make sure that we're not like leaning super heavy into that right shoulder. So lifting up and out, lengthening through the right side. Nice big reach. We'll turn that palm to face the front. Starting to reach forward, finding that little bit of puff of the side body, elbow bends as we crunch it in. Couple more times just like that. One more time. Nice big reach. Finding that crunch. We'll reach it out again. Bringing it up, warrior two. Hands are going to come down around the foot. We're going to step back this time, settling into down dog. Moving that vinyasa if you want it, maybe table. We're all going to meet in child's pose, taking the knees nice and wide, sending the hips all the way back. Taking your time to get there, breathing through the shapes that you need. Just using this shape to, again, come back to the breath. Come back to that space and intention that you've created for yourself in your practice today. Recommit to all the things that you wanted to accomplish. We'll start to press into the hands, tucking toes, lifting hips. Down dog. Nice deep bend to the knees here, looking forward between the hands, walking or hopping forward. Forward fold. Nice deep bend. Maybe you grab those opposite elbows, letting everything hang out. We'll release the elbows with our inhale, nice big reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Last little sequence here that we're doing. Inhale, nice big reach. Keeping those hands reaching up. Left knee is going to come up towards the chest. And then we're sending it back, stepping into that lunge. And then planting that back heel, opening it up, warrior two. So making sure that you have a block handy at the top of your mat as we settle into this shape here. Nice big reach. We're going to find our reverse. Coming forward, forearm to thigh, extended side angle. You can choose that arm straight up. Maybe you reach it forward. Bringing it right back up. We're going to straighten that front knee and then start to tilt forward. So we're just going to tilt here for a moment. Arms are going to stay long, reaching forward with those fingertips and then bringing it right back up. One more time, finding that tilt, trying to keep the length through the side body is the same as you find that reach, bringing it back. If you want to use a block as we come into triangle, just getting it set up so it's right inside that foot. You get to choose what height you want it at. So that front knee is straight. We'll find that tilt and reach forward. And then we're dropping that hand down. So maybe it comes to the shin or the floor. Maybe you find a block. And that top arm is going to reach up towards the sky. And again, if you have that support, just use it. So that way you can really focus on what this length in the side body feels like. If that top arm starts to get cranky, you can bring it to the hip. So really focusing on lengthening from the hips all the way up through the sides to the crown of the head in this shape. Heart is still turning towards the side of the mat. We'll start to bend into that knee, moving that block, coming on up, warrior two. Hands are going to come to heart. We're going to turn the toes, angle them out a little bit. And then hands are going to come down to the thighs. So you are in charge of how intense this is. I may or may not have done legs yesterday, so this is a lot. But you're going to settle into your goddess or your horse pose however much you want to torture yourself this morning. So settling in here, we're going to start to lengthen that left arm down onto that thigh, reaching that right arm up and over. Finding that little bit of side stretch, bringing it back. Same thing, other side. Nice big reach. Challenging yourself to keep the legs nice and low. We'll do each side one more time. Nice big reach here. Last side. Reaching up and over. Coming back to center, pausing for a breath. And then we'll slowly bring it right back up. We're gonna settle back into that warrior two shape. Turning, popping up onto those back toes. And then we're just shifting the weight forward as we bring that knee right back up into the chest. And then we'll bring it down to meet the other. Inhale, nice big reach. Pausing here for a moment. Again, thinking back on that kind of monkey bars approach, getting really heavy, the body's just kind of hanging out here. Shifting the weight to that left foot, right knee comes up. We're gonna send that foot back behind us and then open it up, warrior two. Taking a moment of pause, we'll find our reverse. Coming forward, extended side angle. You choose that arm straight up or reaching forward. Bring it back, warrior two. We're gonna straighten that front knee. Already intending our length through the side bodies, we'll start to tip and reach forward. And then we'll bring it right back up. Just a little baby core work. One more time, reaching forward. Like you're serving your breakfast forward. We'll bring it right back up. So again, recommend using the block just so that you're really allowing the body to settle into the shape. We'll find that reach and tilt forward and then drop it in to that triangle pose. So same options, that top arm can reach straight up. You can bring it to the hip. Heart is opening towards the side of the mat. Length is happening through both sides of the body here. One more breath wherever you're at. We'll start to bend into that knee, moving that block, coming on up, warrior two. Hands are gonna come to heart. We're gonna turn those toes. Turning, angling them out a bit here. Promise that I'm torturing myself right along with you. We'll start to settle into our goddess or our horse pose. Keeping the hands at heart. Just settling into a depth that makes sense to you. So we want to make sure that there's equal amount of weight happening between the pinky edge and the big toe side of the foot. A lot of times we tend to kind of round in. So really pressing those legs out and open. Maybe you sit just a tiny bit deeper. And then we'll bring it all the way up. Turning back into that warrior two shape. Hands are going to come to heart as we pop up onto that back toe. Shifting that weight forward. We're bringing that knee all the way up. Both feet on the ground. Inhale, nice big reach. Exhale, hands to heart. We have one last standing posture round and then we're going to chill out here. So just finding that nice solid foundation in the feet. We'll keep hands at heart to start here. Starting to shift weight into that right foot. Left knee comes up. We're taking that knee out to the side, settling into tree pose. So you can kickstand it, calf or thigh, but really choosing one that gives you the greatest amount of stability this morning, because we're going to add some other things in with the upper body. So choosing one where you feel really solid here. If this already is enough and you're happy, you can stay. Or maybe that left hand starts to come down to that left thigh. That right arm reaches up to the sky. So you can stay here if this is like perfect amount of stuff happening. Or maybe you start to find that little bit of banana-like shape as you reach up and over. So if you fall out, you fall out, no big deal. Finding it again. If you try it and it's not for you, just let it go. We'll bring it back to center, bringing those hands back to the heart, bringing that knee forward, both feet on the ground. Inhale, nice big reach, hands to heart. Shifting weight into that left foot, right knee is coming up. We'll take it out to the side. Again, you choose what your tree pose looks like, choosing a tree that will serve you with a breezy branches and leaves this morning. Option to stay here, or that right hand can come down to the leg, left arm reaches up, pausing here if this is enough, or maybe you start to find that kind of banana-like space and shape here. Making sure to breathe. Making sure that your face is not scowling or doing something strange because you're trying to focus. Keeping it easy. We'll bring it back up if you're in that banana shape, hands to heart. Bringing that knee forward, both feet on the ground. Inhale, nice big reach. Folding forward. Halfway lift. Folding forward. And we're just gonna make our way all the way down to the bum. Keeping those knees bent. We're gonna come all the way down to our back. We'll start to hug knees in towards the chest once you're there. Arms are going to come out to your sides into that kind of T shape or cactus arms. And we're going to keep those knees hugged in as we start to drop the knees over towards the right. So settling into a twist here. Keeping the shoulders pressing down towards the mat. Settling back into that breath as you breathe space in between each of the ribs. Feeling that length from hip to shoulder. We'll be here for just a couple more breaths. Maybe bringing a little attention to the areas that are still trying to kind of hold on here. Can you use the breath to find a little bit of release? A little more let go. We'll start to bring those knees back to center. Pausing here for a moment. Maybe you hug those knees back in for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, arms come out to the sides, knees drop over to the left. Just taking time here, honoring this side of the body. It might feel a little different, a little more constrained than the other, and that's okay. Shoulders are pressing down towards the mat. That length and release is happening through the side body. Making sure that whatever shape you've settled into, there's still breath happening easily, moving very fluid through the body here. Just a couple more breaths on this side. Finding a little more release, a little more let go in those areas that are feeling stuck. We'll start to bring the knees back to center, hugging them in one more time, giving yourself a little time to take any extra movements that you might need before we start to settle into our last little stillness moment of class. If you want to take that happy baby pose, you can. If there's something else that you're craving, just giving space for it to happen. Getting all the little movements and wiggles out. And then as you're ready, settling into that final shape. So maybe you take that kind of queen size bed to yourself pose, letting the feet fall out, letting the arms fall out, taking up space. Maybe you want to come into a seated position. Maybe you grab a blanket. It's Saturday. You get to do what you need. And as you begin to settle into the shape that's going to serve you here, I just invite you to come back to that little bit of health check. So checking back in with the breath. Were you able to kind of honor the breath that you started for this practice? Checking back in with the body. Were you able to breathe some space, find some length in areas that have been feeling stuck or caught in different ways? And just coming back to that intention, whatever it is that you were needing from this practice, whether it was stillness of the mind or peace of mind or letting some things go, how were you able to honor that today? And is it something that can serve you as you begin to carry it into the rest of your day and into the weekend or the next week? Just giving space for it to settle a little more deeply in the mind and in the heart. If you are happy and content where you're at this morning, just wanting to stay here for a little longer, then just give yourself permission to do that. It's the weekend, it's Saturday, depending on what your week looked like, maybe a little extra time in this space you've created is what is needed. So just honoring that if that's where you're at. If you're ready to head into the rest of your day, start to deepen the breath in the body, finding those little movements in fingers and toes. Taking your time as you roll to one side or the other, pausing where you need to. And then as you're ready, making your way to a comfortable seat, eyes closed, hands at heart center. I want to thank you all so much for rolling out your mats and sharing some movement and space with me this morning. I don't know about the rest of you, but it's definitely what I needed today. So I'm grateful that you're here to share in this practice with me. The light within me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Yay. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Cheryl and Jerry. Perfect. I'm so glad that both sides of your body are happy, Heidi. So I do have a couple of quick announcements before you head off. A very exciting announcement, actually. So tomorrow, yes, tomorrow at noon, we are opening registration for an outdoor class at Coria that will be happening on Sunday the 17th. So there are only 10 spots available. So you want to jump in there as quickly as you can to grab a spot. There will be propane heaters, but like again, it's winter, so you'll have to wear your layers. So just a quick note, it'll go on the social medias later today, so there'll be a reminder for you, and then we'll open it up tomorrow. If it goes well and everyone is happy and pleased with it, then we are going to kind of keep it going for first and third Sundays. So make a note of that. As always, any donations that you feel like sharing, we greatly appreciate. There's info in the description for class. And then Monday, Mickey will be teaching the Monday night BYOB. And then we have our Wednesday noon class happening next week that I'll be teaching right here from my living room. So thank you all again. Thank you, everyone. I think I missed a bunch of thank yous in here. Yay. I'm so glad that you were all here. I'm glad the stretches were good. And have a beautiful weekend. Cheers, all.